It's daybreak here on Arise News, and it's time for the press preview. First, a look at what's on the front pages of the papers, and we start with this. They are sister publication, and sister has on its headline, Defense Headquarters, we've arrested suspects of a war, Catholic Church attack. Rules out use of mercenaries in fight against terrorists, insist Abuja is safe. Akeredolu confirms arrest of 5 suspected church attackers. Afenifere welcomes development. And if you just look just beside the picture down on top of the advert, Wike insults elders, bullies others, alleges governors estranged ally, and how Buhari shut down $418 million Paris club refund. It has 2 riders. The president sets up committee to review case. FEC agrees it's insensitive to current realities, nation's mood. And then FD to Nigerians don't allow another civil war in the country. Says self-centeredness, course of war that claimed 1 million lives, declares that Nigeria will remain one.
The Punch newspaper this morning is leading story. Wike's romance with Tinubu's men rattles Amechi's base. That's on page 2, and just below that, leading photos today on the front of the Punch. Federal government issues 1.9 million passports, inaugurates production center.
In the nation, the Federal Inland Revenue Service is demanding 1 trillion naira tax remittance from ministries and development agencies. 5 suspects, 1 accomplice held over a what church attack. I can sway Rivers votes. That's Wike boasting to the PDP. And 15 states failed to implement 30,000 naira wage for teachers.
All right, the Sun, Daily Sun newspaper, over church massacre. Masterminds arrested, how they were nabbed by the CDS, Chief of Defense Staff. Akeredolu confirms arrest of the 5 suspects. And just below that picture, ministers clash as Buhari suspends $418 million Paris club refund plan.
Some international papers this morning. Let's begin with the Daily Express. Just one big headline here. In Lee's We Trust. This is the second UK paper that is backing Liz Truss in her journey to run for the PM.
Well, the I paper says Truss softens on handouts for cost of living.
All right. Well, let me just follow up on that I paper before I go to the next one. I'm evolving, not retiring. That's the tennis queen, Serena Williams. All right, let me take The Guardian. Johnson, new PM certain to bail out households over cost of living. Trump on what path as FBI raids Mar-a-Lago?
And for the press review, let's bring in Emmanuel Bello, who joins us from our offsite studio. Emmanuel, good morning. Thanks for joining us. Let's take a look at this day newspaper. Its leading headline from the Defense Headquarters: we've arrested suspects of Owo Catholic Church attack. What are your thoughts on this development coming out this morning?
Good morning, Kechi. This is the midweek. Good morning, Kenneth, Indy. Good morning. Well, it is the government's efforts, as you can see, to at least create some kind of reassurances around the polity. And especially the arrest itself, that was a very good, the arrest of those Owo attackers. It was a very good opportunity for them to reassure the country that, look, we're not losing it all out. Irabo even ruling out the use of mercenaries, saying that it's a waste of money, that they are commercial entities. Why pay? In case you know, there were suggestion that it seems as if the government was run out of ideas. And so some top place people were saying, why not we pay people, soldiers of fortunes, as they call them, to come fight for us. But Irabo is saying that, look, no, you don't need mercenaries. You don't need to ask people to come and fight for us. Why not use the money to just beef up what you already have on ground? So that's, for him, that's the wisest thing to do. And he said a whole lot. He said, look, this war is winnable and that it can be done, with regards to the Owo massacre, you know that everyone was worried about that, 40 worshippers, and it generated all sort of issues. And now they have even, the paper is actually even publishing the names so that we can identify them. In most cases, people will say that these people are unknown gunmen, they can be identified, but the Nation, for instance, brought out the names of those people. So we're seeing a situation where we're getting behind those masks to unmask the real killers, to the real people who are behind this. So it's the sort of story that you wake up this morning reading and then, you know, try to also, in a way, find your way, thinking that, okay, well, maybe something is being done, maybe some serious action. Remember that those ultimatum given to the president in the state there, he's been given 6 weeks to get around some of these issues. So this could be also, you know, part of what the president is pushing to ensure that we have better security.
Welcome development it is indeed, Emmanuel. Well, let's take a look at the Nation newspaper. The governor in the South River State, Nyesom Wike, is boasting that he can sway Rivers voters with the good things he's done in the state. Now, this comes as an estranged ally of the governor is saying that he tells, I'll give the quote, Wike insults elders, bullies others. He's alleging that the governor, that's according to the ally. What are your comments on this individual?
Kenneth, looking at what Lay Mabel was saying, you know, you just get the picture of when he and Wike were really romancing. There's this beautiful picture of two of them in a private jet. I can't forget that picture. I can't just get that picture off my head. And you hear him saying these sort of things about Wike. He called him all sort of things. He said he's a bully. He likes to talk down people. And then he gave instances of how, a very interesting story, how Wike will call people to the government house. And in one instance, this has to be fact-checked, Wike telling them that he will kill him, he will first kill them and then kill himself. And that if they don't have guns, they should go get ready to have guns. And what Wike keeps saying is that, look, anybody romancing with Atiku right now, if Atiku has a Wike problem, Wike too is having an Atiku problem, clearly. And he sees the ghost of Atiku almost everywhere. He's fighting his base, talking to his supporters on that. He was scared that, well, Atiku might find his way into the state from the back doors. And he keeps saying that, look, I run this place, I own this place, I control this place. And now Lemeba, who is a very strong ally to him, saying, look, no, you don't have that kind of omnipotence, that kind of power over Rivers voters. You don't even own Rivers votes. So Lemeba is saying that, look, there are other ways to get around the Rivers votes beyond Wike, and that is the number one thing Wike is so scared of right now, so worried about that Atiku might find his way. With even one of the reports suggesting that Amechi might actually, you know, tied over to the Atiku side. So you might see a case, Kenneth, of trading places, Wike going over to the APC. That would be an interesting scenario, and then Amechi going over to the PDP. It would be interesting. Amechi came second in that presidential primary. So, and they worry that Tinubu is not doing much for, or the party is not doing much to solidify the party in Rivers State. Rather, they are romancing with Wike. But Lemeba's, outburst yesterday on the socials, very strong. I think everybody should go read that. So detailed on what is what. I'm not sure everything he says there is correct, but whatever it is something that I think everyone should look at it, because the picture is giving us of Wike is one that I think fairly we are familiar with, but he's gone into details in bringing out another aspect of the man that we have not really seen in the public domain.
Talking about Mayeba, he actually said when Governor Wike says, I control Rivers vote, he said, what does he mean? Where is he going to get the votes from? That if the Osun governor controlled the votes in Osun State, he wouldn't have lost the election. I mean, that's Mayeba and Wike there. But let's look at, still on the Nation, it says 15 states are unable to pay to implement the 30,000 naira minimum wage for teachers. And you wonder, state police, how will that pan out? And then look at Daily Sun too. You look at these two issues. Ministers clash as Buhari suspends $408 million Paris Club reform plan. Emmanuel.
Well, that's a very interesting story. The ministers clash with over those Paris payment. It's a beautiful story. It's this day too, and again, it's interesting to see how. How government cannot bring itself together to actually have as a common front. The Nigeria Governors Forum on one hand saying, don't pay those monies. Of course, it appears the Minister of Finance and the Attorney General on the other side said that, look, we can pay this money. But yesterday, the President did the right thing by saying, look, let's look at this thing in a different way. That's because the Nigerian Governors Forum are doing a very good job of going around the ministers and letting them understand that it will be insensitive to pay up those contractors. But there are those who say that it's a matter of just doing what is right. If people have done their job, they should be paid. But the governors are saying that given our conditions, given the fact that, like the other story that we just said, the state's inability to even pay off minimum wages to teachers, that if you're taking those kind of over $400 billion to pay off contractors, say, look, it means your sympathy or even you are actually siding with contractors rather than your citizens, and that is wrong. So they're playing on that. They're playing on sentiments. They are saying keep these monies for the state to use. Don't pay contractors. But the contractors are saying we've done a job. I think that's what the Minister of Finance and say. We've done a job. People need to be paid. It's just the proper thing to do. So it is the interplay or the conflict between patriotism on one hand, and of course, they need to do what is right for business. But at the end of the day, the president is actually siding with those who say that, look, keep those monies and deal with the crisis that we have with them, and not just what some ministers, only two ministers, really want to be done in the case.
Emmanuel, on the international scene, let's take a look at the Daily Express, and its play with words today says, "In Liz we trust." Liz Truss is the right choice to lead Britain. That is the resounding verdict of the Daily Express. Now, this is the second newspaper to endorse Liz Truss, and it seems like Rishi Sunak is kind of at the back burner right now. Liz Truss has been dominating the UK media back-to-back in the last few weeks on the front pages of almost all the papers, whether it's for good news or for bad news.
Well, thank God that India has not, done a bet with me on this, but I've been saying that Liz Truss is going to...
They've not voted yet. Forget the papers. They were supposed to want to support.
Well, you're getting two newspapers right now endorsing
It's only two. There are many.
Point, I know, but at this point, it will be difficult. The papers don't vote, but... those endorsements are very strong, and Nkechi, you're right. With those kind of endorsements, it's difficult to see how she's going to be surpassed even at the polls. And this is an issue-based campaign. They are talking about lessening the hardship on people, doing, working around the economy to ensure that it works for the average citizen in the UK. So, and it seems as her messages seem to be resonating, and you now have, the critical section of the media, of the UK media, actually endorsing her. Those endorsements are bound to actually resonate with the larger masses, and of course, maybe tide her over during the elections. We'll wait to see. But it seems as if it's winning game for Liz Truss, and in Liz we trust.
Well, iPaper is not speaking in that language. iPaper says Truss softens on handouts for cost of living, and then you can talk about this. I'm evolving, not retiring. Talking about the tennis guru Serena Williams, who won a match yesterday after how many months or a year or so.
Yeah, she says she's not retiring, but she's evolving. I like that. It means that she's trying to recreate herself, rebrand herself, do something else. I guess she's always going to be the queen of the track in that sense. So we wish her well in whatever she's planning to do. She says she's not retiring; she's only evolving. Let's see how that evolution, pans out.
Indeed.
Thank you for your take this morning, Manuel.